Hey guys, welcome to this video. So let's talk about why, if you're going to defend yourself in a debt collection or a debt buyer lawsuit, why you really need to go to your courtroom before the day of your trial. So my name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer in Alabama, and I've represented hundreds and hundreds of people who have been sued by debt buyers or debt collectors. And there are other people who choose to not hire us, and they say, hey, can you give me some tips? Can you give me some pointers? And we do that. And so one thing that we have consistently told people, this is long before COVID, it's also true during COVID when maybe there were Zoom hearings, and now after COVID when very few Zoom hearings, at least in Alabama. So we tell people, look, you've got to go to your particular courtroom in your particular courthouse and watch some trials. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're sued in Jefferson County, the Birmingham courthouse. So there are normally 3 small claims or district court judges, okay? And so you're assigned one of those. Now, some states, you don't know who your judge is till you get there, okay? But in Alabama, which is the point of this video, you know who your judge is. Almost always you know who your judge is. So let's say your trial date, I'm recording this on April the 2nd. Let's say your trial date is May 15. I'm just making that date up. Maybe a weekend, I don't know. But the point is, don't wait till the day of your trial to say, oh, let me go figure out where the courthouse is. Let me figure out where you park. Let me figure out which door you go in to go through security. Let me figure out how that process works. And then let me try to find my courtroom. Don't do that. Go ahead of time. Go a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before and say, I'm going to find the courthouse. I'm going to find the right place to park. I'm going to see how I get through security. And then you want to find your particular judge's courtroom. At least in Alabama, almost always, your judge will have a specific courtroom. So it's courtroom number 3 or it's courtroom number 7 or whatever it may be. And you want to go there to make sure that you know how to get to the correct courtroom. So it's not enough just to be within the courthouse. You got to find the courtroom. I can't tell you how many people that I've given this advice to, and then they lose their trial. And we talk about it. Say, what happened? They go, well, I was sitting in a dark courtroom for 3 hours. Well, it turned out they're in the wrong courtroom. They assumed that, the courtroom number 2 was their courtroom when really it's number 3. Nobody's going to come look for you, try to find you. You got to get in the right courtroom. I mean, it's sort of like a football game not showing up at the correct stadium. It's kind of hard to win if you are in the wrong place. So, okay, you find your courtroom. But it's not enough just say, okay, yeah, I know it's courtroom number 3. You want to know, what is your judge like? And the reason is because all judges are different. Some are very formal. Some are pretty low key. Some are sticklers for being on time. I mean, I've never seen any that don't care about that, but some are like, if you're a minute late, like you are doomed in their courtroom, okay? So you always want to get there early, which is part of the reason why I want you to be able to find the courthouse, find the parking, find your courtroom, but then watch your judge. What does your judge do? Maybe you notice that your judge always says when he or she is calling the dockets, what we usually describe this as, where they say, okay, we have these, 18 cases set for trial, Midland Credit versus Bob Smith. And, the lawyer would say, I'm here for Midland. Bob Smith say, I'm Bob Smith, I'm here. The judge may always say, hey, feel free to go out in the hallway and talk. If you don't get it settled, you're trial number 1. All right, next case. All right, and you start to see some patterns here. Now, hopefully you can actually see a trial happening, okay? But you won't necessarily know that until you get there because somebody may not show up. If they don't show up, they lose, which is a good reminder. You got to show up, right day, right time, right courtroom. And even if everybody shows up, they may end up settling the case. Okay, so you don't have a guarantee that you can watch a trial, but at least go there and watch the way your judge handles his or her business. And it will just give you so much more comfort so that when you walk in, you'll say, you know what, I know how this works. See, most people walk in, they're terrified in part because of the uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen. Does the judge just say, all right, case number 1, 2, 3, 4 come up, so I have to know that? Or will they call my name? Well, see, you'll know all that if you go ahead of time. and you'll get a feel for what happens. And look, it could be you go when there's 5 cases, and then on your day of trial there's 15, but usually it's pretty similar. Okay, so it's kind of nice to know if you're going to walk into a courtroom where there's 100 people, okay, versus there's 5 people. All right, and so you get a feel for the courtroom. Take a notebook, just make notes. Here's some observations. Now, sometimes if you're in there and the judge is calling everybody, they may notice you haven't, raised your hand or stood up. And they may say, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, did we call your case?" And you just say, "Oh, thank you, Your Honor. I'm actually here early. My trial is set 2 weeks from now. I just wanted to come watch." And I've never seen a judge get upset by that. They're usually very happy. They're like, "Oh, well, that's very smart of you to come. And that's wonderful. You just soak it all up." Okay. Because remember, the lawyer you're going against. So in Alabama, it may be somebody Zarzar and Schwartz or the Roush firm or Scott and Associates or any number of lawyers. This is what they do every day. So they know this judge, they know this courtroom. And if you're just walking in, kind of like imagine you miscalculate where the parking is, and then you forget about, oh, I have a trial on Monday morning and there's a bunch of jurors trying to get in, so the security line is horrible. That's why you get there really early. And so the elevator's packed, and so you run up the stairs, 4 flights of stairs, and you finally get in the right courtroom and you're like out of breath and they call your case. Well, you're not in a good state of mind, okay? Because you're like looking around trying to figure out what's going on. Get there early, be in the right courtroom, the right courthouse. And sometimes counties have multiple courthouses. You don't want to be sitting in the wrong courthouse. So the right courthouse, the right courtroom, and have an idea of what's going to happen. So it won't get rid of your nerves, okay? Actually, you don't want to have like no nerves, all right? It means you're dead, right? So Toastmasters has an expression, we're not trying to get rid of the butterflies in your stomach. We're just trying to get them to fly in formation. You want that energy that it means you're alive. It means you care about this. It means it's important, but have that be focused and you know what's going to happen. Now, the point of this video is not how do you defend yourself in court. It's just to say, if you're going to defend yourself, in other words, not hire a lawyer, get there early, get there, well before your trial date, find your courtroom, your judge, see what's happening, and then the day of trial, certainly get there early so that you don't have to worry about parking or security or whether there's a big jury trial. And there's all these potential jurors there kind of jamming up the security line to get in, and just be comfortable and confident with what you're doing. Okay, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.